What's up, guys, and welcome back to another Kinalite Kingdom video. And as you can tell by the title, the community is outraged, like straight up outraged. And I'm gonna go ahead and get into it and explain like what's going on. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. So basically, recently a lot of the active Kinalite Kingdom players have been talking in the VC a lot in their Discord, and they were talking about it, and they decided that they were going to send out like almost like a I don't want to call it a threat, but it was like a very harshly toned message. So I figured I would give you guys an update on this because it was pretty serious, and personally I agree with it. A lot of people do, for that matter. But basically, Stack sent out a message, and before you say anything in the comment below, I know you can't read that. That's just basically showing how big it is. I will go ahead and read it off for you. You know, basically it will be the same thing as, you know, what I've showed on the screen. But anyways, here we go. Let me go ahead and read this out for you guys. Basically, 1 out of 2. Suggestion. This is from Stacksu. Change rare Kinalite odds. If it doesn't come as much of a surprise, if you really want a rare Kinalite, you'll have to go through a lot of work to get it. And compared to the player base, it seems a tad bit unfair. Me and many others agree that certain Kinalites should be quite a bit more obtainable, as for no matter how hard you work for it, you'll probably never get it. The events are a perfect example with the stuff such as Chroma Pumpkin, Chroma Turkey, and Chroma Candy Cane. Or Chroma Candy Krabu. For that matter, for those of you who don't know, Chroma Pumpkin was the Halloween event that was a 1 in 400, and then multiplied by the Chroma odds, it ended up being a 1 in 400,000, and people think there's roughly less than 20 of them. However, I can confirm there's less than 10 of them. I will go ahead and say that. So, not a lot were found. Chroma Turkey, 2 were found. 2. It was a 1 in 250. It wasn't swarmable like the pumpkin, and it literally, like, only 2 were found. It was pretty insane. So it was like 1 in 250,000. Chroma Candy Cane Krabu. So basically, Chroma Candy Cane Krabu is a Chroma Krabu, which isn't too hard to get. Actually, really well done odds-wise. But the problem is that a Candy Cane is a 1 in 24, and that's it. Like, it's like there are a ton of one of one's Chroma Candy Cane Krabus. Like, for example, there's only 1 green right now, 1 Chroma Candy Cane green, and there's only 1 purple Chroma Candy Cane purple, and some of them haven't even been found. So there you go. And finally, he put as the last few Chroma Magic Krabu, Chroma Christmas Muralo, Chroma RGB, Normal, and Xmas. Chroma Magic Krabu is this little buddy that I have. I traded for mine because of how rare it is, but basically you can only get it by opening these things called magical presents. I don't believe I have any on me, but you get these things called festive gears, you get magic dust, and you get presents from battling trainers, and you craft them all together, you get 1 magic present, and you have a chance to find it is a present or a magical present Krabu, and if it's Chroma, then we call it Krampus, because it's apparently intended to look like Krampus. So, personally, I think it's a block of coal, but that's for another day. So, anyways, and basically, it's really rare. Like, only 3 of them exist right now. So I've heard. I believe there's 4 or 5, but only 3 exist is what people are saying. So, anyways, and Chroma Christmas Muralo, which only 2 people have, both of them being developers. You know, they have dev luck. Nah, no hate for the devs. They worked for it. And then Chroma RGB Normal and Xmas. Chroma Christmas Muralo, for the context of later in that message, has not been found. And the final thing of Chroma Normal, only 1 has been found. So, the reason these Kinalites have been deemed unfair by many is, as I stated earlier, they are legit just too hard to get, and with an unarguably tiny player base, this creates extremely rare Kinalites when they shouldn't be. That's true. A lot of people just want to hop on the game and just, like, get the rare Kinalite that they like. It looks cool, hunt for it for, you know, maybe a day, 2 days, and then they get it and they're like, woo! Or, you know, the collectors go after, like, maybe the one that, like, takes, like, 5 days, but the collectors don't want to be going after ones that take, like, 3 weeks to be found. Like, you know. Anyways, as he continues, Grinch Christmas Muralo, basically Christmas Chroma Muralo, is stupidly rare from an item that is very tedious to grind. The fact that Grinch was even found to begin with is surprising. Nonetheless, 2 have already been found, and this is, along with Chroma RGB, creates some crazy/expensive Kinalites that will never return, which is bonkers with the 30 concurrent players. I think, yeah, I agreed that if things were returned, it wouldn't be that bad. But the fact that they're never returning is pretty crazy. And we're expected to find a 1 in 5 mil. Christmas RGB hasn't been found, and the event is over halfway over by now. Christmas RGB has a 1 in 2.5 million chance, and we are supposed to just never find it. Basically, stat continues. Nobody will ever get to own it because they're just too rare for the player base. Stuff like Chroma Candy Cane Krabu, it'd be cool to see the Candy Cane be more common on Chromas, be like a 1 in 5 instead of a baffling 1 in 24, or for presents to have way smaller odds for Gears or Halos, because again, there were a ton of 1 of 1s, which is just going to wreck the community with everyone trying to get these 1 of 1s, which will make them eternally rich for just getting lucky once in a demo. I agree with that. I do want to add on more to the whole thing about values. Kinalite Kingdom is not supporting values. That's not saying that they won't happen. I'm personally indifferent on them. I'm choosing to stay out of them right now, as I've talked about on my streams. So tune in if you want to ask me more about that. But basically, I think it's more so unfair that some of these things are like really cool, and they're like these people's dream Kinalites, and some of these people have spent weeks, like all of Christmas, hunting for it, and because they're so rare, they can't even get the one thing they want. You know, like, I just find that absolutely crazy. Like, I don't necessarily care about the whole values aspect, but just from a collector's perspective, like, that would be heartbreaking to me if I just, you know, didn't find the Kinalite, you know, I wanted. Luckily, I got Chroma Christmas Naimon, which is all I really cared about. Also one from Magical Presents, and that one's not too bad, as quite a few have been found. Roughly around, like, 15, I believe, but yeah. So I will continue saying Stack's message now. Basically, he said, and now we're on to 2 of 2. Because his message was so long that he had to continue it. To get a Chroma Candy Krabu, you'd have to statistically hunt for 25.6 days non-stop, and it'd only be a 50% chance you actually get it, which is practically the entire event. And I'll tell you, nobody can do that. Nobody can play a game 615 out of 720 hours of a month. I completely agree with that. That's absolutely insane. Bat crazy, for that matter. Nobody. No one. No matter how badly they wanted it, it would actually die for a Chroma Candy Cane, you know? We think all, if not most things, should be obtainable with a good amount of work, just not a miracle for some reason. For some random who doesn't care about it and quits the game in a month. Agreed, that has happened. Someone quit like 2 days after and one of the Chroma Pumpkins was released. It's disappointing to hunters/collectors. We'd just like to see a change if the player base doesn't drastically evolve soon. Yeah, because this will quite literally ruin the game later on if they keep up things like this, even if they get a bigger player base. Like, it'll just be really bad, because people just won't want to play after they just grinded so hard and couldn't get their dream Kinalite. Okay, we support the game and the devs working hard on it. We want what is best for the game and won't let it fail. Dash the Fellowship. Basically, for those of you who don't know, the Fellowship is a group of basically the people who managed to get Krabu put into the game, and a few other active players, like all of the active players, and all of the people who play Kinalite in general are basically in the Fellowship. I myself am, I guess you could say I'm within it, but I'm not really like actually like a leader in it or whatever. Neither is Stack. He just got the approval from the Fellowship, as they've all been complaining about it. So anyways, on to our next point. 28 people liked his message. 28 people. Okay, for Kinalite, here's how many people are playing the game as I'm playing it right now. 11. 11 people are playing it. There are more people who liked his message than the people who are actively playing the game. That's indicating that a lot of people just gave up because they just thought it was really dumb. Like, and needless to say, yeah, there's 2 X's on this. Like, obviously, someone disagreed or 2 people disagreed. But, like, to 28 people wanting this, like, even if you include the devs are outnumbered by almost quadruple. And most of the devs who are in the Fellowship agree with this message. So, tell me your thoughts on this. Mainly wanted to get this message out. They've been wanting me to make a video on it, and I think it's a fair point. I'm indifferent on the matter. I got everything I wanted from the Christmas event, so I don't want to be... I don't think I have an opinion in the matter, basically. However, if I did have an opinion in the matter, I agree. I think things need to be made easier, which is saying a lot from someone who already got all of his stuff. It would literally just ruin my value, you know? Like, and I genuinely think that this is just unfair. Like, I didn't even find any of this stuff. I traded for it, you know? I got lucky when I got my Chroma Krabu. I got 1 Chroma Krabu, and let's see. Let's see how many encounters it took me. My 1 Chroma Krabu took me 733. Again, got pretty lucky, but still, I think that doesn't excuse how outrageous this is. So, let me know your thoughts. let's just, you know, maybe as a community, this is something that, like we got Chroma Caboose added into the game, maybe they can, like, buff it for, you know, the last week of the event so people can actually feel like they can get their dream Kinalite, you know, like, or at least the whole thing with the Chroma candy canes, like, maybe once you roll candy cane, or once you roll Chroma, it rolls like a tick, like a 1 in 5, you know, instead of the 1 in 24 originally. Like, I think that would be much better. But that's definitely, like, debatable as to how they would do it. I feel like if anything, something needs to be changed. Like, just something. And there's a lot more wrong with this. There's a lot more going on. But I'm not going to go ahead and get into it, because otherwise we would be here all day. So, yeah. So, going to go ahead and end off this video here. Again, let me know your comments below, your thoughts, everything. See ya!